Russia has the new president. Didn't you hear? The old one is gone. Been all over the news today. You didn't hear about that? You did not? You mean I am the first person who's telling you that? Oh my God, historic moment. Russia has the new president, Ivan Stogov. Oh, wake up, people. This is the news. As a matter of fact, we just had the new president addressed us. And now everything is clear and everything is going to be all right. He just had a speech to all of us Russian citizens. Now, after this speech, we know who to blame. It was all one man's fault. The bad guy. That guy is gone. Ha! Ahoy. He did everything. He made all the bad decisions. For the last 10 years, freedoms in Russia have been deteriorated to the lowest point in, modern Russia's history. Economies in shambles due to bad decisions. And sometimes they were mistakes and sometimes the decisions were intentional. This whole conflict with Ukraine, oh my God, Nazis, NATO threat, America is bad. Oh my gosh, we should have known better, okay? The guy told us everything, right? We should have known better. We should have known better. Us, all good people of Russia, are feeling devastated after the speech because we feel betrayed. But the betrayal was done by the bad guy and his circle, the ones who surrounded, smaller bad guys who surrounded him. But no worries. New President Ivan Stogov has everything covered. You see, what needs to be done is the bad people. There's not much we can do to the biggest and the baddest guy. He's far away. We can't get him. But all those bad people who, were carrying out his decisions, were surrounding him, they need to answer for all they did. They're going to be fired. They're going to be prosecuted. Some of them might even go to jail, prisons. And to fix things as soon as possible, the new people need to, the old people need to be replaced with the new people. And this new people, they're going to be much younger. They're going to be honest. They're going to be sincere and innocent, okay? They're going to stand in place of the old bad guys and they're going to change everything around. Russia's going to be the new country with the new people. You see, that is the solution. And no worries. Comrade Ivan Stogov, the new president, he has everything covered. There's a plan. He just told us about that. He has all these new names right there in front of us, and they're good. Stogov has impeccable reputation. He's an honest guy, okay? He's got very good service track record. And, gosh, he knows so many good people. His classmates, oh my gosh, he's known them all his life. Great reputation. They're clean, they're honest. Some of them serve as prosecutors, and his classmate's going to be made the head prosecutor of Russia. One of his buddies served in the army, and he's going to be made the Minister of Defense. And one of the fellow he went to school with is a great lawyer. So he's going to be placed as the Prime Minister of Russia. Okay? And he will assemble his team, of course, with Ivan Stogov's supervision. Of course. Well, Ivan Stogov's sister has been an accountant in a large corporation, and she's been very honest, very nice lady, very professional. She's going to be put in charge of the central bank. That way, the new honest people will come, and they will change things around. And that's the solution. Don't worry. I'm feeling so much better. Comrade Stogov has everything covered for us, okay? Whew. Things will turn around for all Russia and for all Russian people. Hail, Comrade Stogov. Howdy, howdy. My name is Konstantin, and welcome to Inside Russia. I give you the latest updates about what's happening in Russia, my takes, my opinions, and things that I find very important. Well, of course, today in Russia we have the old president, Vladimir Putin. I made up Ivan Stogov for a very good reason. I'm going to tell you later about that. First, I'm going to give you a little history lesson. I'm going to be talking about the bad czars and the good czars, okay? And what's going to happen in Russia soon. First, a little history lesson. Russia has had czars for the past 500 years. 500 years, yes. The word czar itself in the Russian language originated from the Latin Caesar, and that from the name Julius Caesar, of course. Julius Caesar was the person who destroyed Roman Republic. He changed the ways that Roman Republic was managed, and he accumulated lots of power in his hands. He became the first imperator. Don't mistake, he did not become the emperor. He did not make the empire, but he became the imperator. Still, he was elected imperator for life, and he amassed lots of power in his hands. And his adopted son, Augustus, then he became, after Caesar was killed, Augustus became the first emperor, and he founded the empire, the Roman Empire. And that, of course, that was the beginning of the end. Roman Empire did not last long. It was functional for about 120 years after that, and it was ruled by the emperors, people who somehow amassed absolute power in their hands. They were good emperors and the bad emperors in the Roman Empire, but actually they were all pretty darn bad, and it led to the demise of the Roman Empire, the Roman state, so to speak. Now, since the 16th century, in Russia has been many czars. Some were good, some were bad, some were strong, some were weak, some knew very well what to do with power in their hands, some didn't know, and they didn't last long. Some were cruel, and some were merciful. Some were actually very nice people. Some did great for Russia, and some did great for themselves, you know. And some were hated by the people, some were loved by the people. Yes, they were czars that ruled, and they were loved by the people. You know, they did great things for Russia. But despite all these differences, for 500 years, 16th century, all Russians had two things in common. They had absolute power in their hands. They had the right given to them by the society to make any decisions, any absolute decisions for anything in the country. And their primary goal, the only goal of their existence, was to keep their absolute power for as long as possible, to remain czar for as long as possible. Now, modern day presidents and democracies, they have a different agenda. They have agenda when they are voted into power. First of all, they don't have absolute power. Okay, there's systems of checks and balances. If there aren't systems like that, then power becomes absolute in the hands of one man very fast. But modern democracies, they have checks and balances, which is a great idea. And they are elected for the with the goal of create as much public good as possible. So the czars in Russia, they didn't even know what public good was. Okay, they just wanted to keep their absolute power in their hands for as long as possible. Well, that's Russia for you. When Russia was destroyed, the Tsarist Russia was destroyed, the USSR was born. The idea of the USSR was a little different. Well, actually quite different. Lenin and Trotsky, the founders of the USSR, they had a different idea. They had idea of not having one strong man in charge with absolute power, but instead power would be distributed to people on the ground, so to speak. And Soviet Union stands for Soviet as union in Russia, the unions of people, the committees, okay, and the groups of people who make local decisions. That system didn't last long because Joseph Stalin turned out to be a very, very strong man, and he usurpated power and made it absolute and kept it in his hands for 20 or 30 years. And he actually destroyed the idea of the USSR, of Lenin and Trotsky, the way they saw that. Not that I liked their idea, but Stalin changed everything completely, and he built the USSR the way we know it. And the following leaders of the USSR, they basically were the strong men. They came on top due to their strength in certain areas of their characters. Okay, they wanted power the most out of all other Soviet leaders. So they got the power. Khrushchev, Brezhnev, Andropov, Chernenko, and Gorbachev. Okay, so all of them, with the exception of Gorbachev, were the strong men, and they ruled the USSR just like the Tsars ruled before. Now, Tsars had many ways, many tools how to keep their power and how to hang on to their power for as long as possible. They needed to keep their surroundings in place, and they needed so everyone would accept their roles and there would be no betrayal. No one would kill the Tsars. And the second, they needed to keep people in place from rioting and making a revolution. And because that was threat number one, actually two threats. First is threat from coming from the inner circle, because it's much, much more difficult to keep power than to get power. To get on top of the hill is fairly easy. To stay there, that's what's difficult. And the threat number one, of course, is riot by people that would lead to revolution, revolt. So many different tools, but the most commonly used tool was, well, there are two. First tool was, in Russia it's called, the Tsar is good, the nobles, surrounding nobles, are bad. If something bad happened to the people as a result of Tsar's policy, then Tsar would blame the nobles around him. And a Tsar would sacrifice such nobles and say, hey, I didn't know it was happening. It was not my fault, this person's fault. Okay? But look what I do. I hang him, or I exile him, or I, cut off their hand, or something, And I'm going to put a new person in place, and that'll be fixed. Okay, that was the way to keep people content, keep people quiet, keep people from revolting. And the second tool, when people revolted and they would overthrow the Tsar, or, the inner circle would overthrow the Tsar, the second tool is called the bad Tsar, the good Tsar. All problems were blamed onto the old Tsar, like that just came out of the picture. And the new Tsar was good. The old Tsar was bad, and everything what bad was happening in the country was the problem of the old Tsar. Okay, and that's how Tsars kept people content. Well, Stalin actually was a master manipulator, and he used the same policy. In Russia, it's called перегибы на местах. In 1932, I believe, his popularity started dropping, and he made an open letter. He wrote an open letter to Soviet people, and that's how he called it. Перегибы на местах, overzealous officials, saying, hey, I don't know that this terrible thing's happening, locally to people. That's the local bureaucrats. They're abusing their power. They're overzealating officials, abusing officials. And this is how the Red Terror started. So Stalin used the Red Terror to rotate, to basically kill all the bureaucrats. The bureaucrat would be placed onto a certain position for no longer than 2 years and then would be executed. And that's how Stalin kept blaming the problems of the Soviet state onto other people. But he was making the ultimate decisions, Other Soviet leaders, they kind of used these techniques, but not to the extent that Stalin did, okay? So that's a short history lesson about czars and czarism and the good and the bad czars in Russia. And now let's fast forward to today. November 11th, 12th already in Russia, in Uzbekistan. So, but anyway, November 11th, 2022. It is clear today, on November 11th, that things will change in Russia. Because the way they're going, they're not going to be going for long, okay? They are on the verge of major shift, major change. It is very clear. Yesterday's news about Russian troops leaving Kherson, blowing up the bridges, it shows that it's like the last, how to say that, a draw that broke camel's back, in my eyes. That's what it is. Because Russian society is very divided onto Russia leaving Kherson. Lots of people are very upset, and it is clear that Russian army cannot stop the Ukrainian army. Okay, and the Ukrainian army is pushing and pushing and pushing. So things will change because Russia has nothing to offer to counter this situation. Now, it's clear that things will change. What is unclear is how they will change and what is going to be the result of the changes. So, there are two results, possible outcomes. First is the bad Tsar is replaced by the good Tsar. And of course, it's very clear that the bad Tsar will be blamed for everything and some things that he actually didn't do. Okay, everything is going to be blamed on him. And that's how the nobles are going to be, trying to whiten their names, so to speak, because all these people who are in charge of Russia, they're under sanctions. Everyone knows their names. Everyone knows not to trust them. Everyone knows that, they're going to be charged with many crimes and so forth. So they will be trying very hard to clean their names, to rinse off their names, so to speak. So they're going to blame the old Tsar. And the new Tsar will change things dramatically. He will change things in the economy. He will change things. He will stop tragedy. He will stop the bloodshed immediately, I'm pretty sure, with Ukraine. He will make very unpopular decisions in terms of, the newly annexed Russian territories. And he will blame it to the old Tsar, of course. Hey, it's not his fault. He's the new guy trying to fix things. He will try to fix the relationship with the West by, you know, giving up a lot, so to speak. And things will actually change for a few years, just like they changed back in the 90s and early 2000s. And things will get better in Russia, and things will get better in Ukraine, and things will get better in the world, because I don't think Russia will regain its name. I don't think Russia will regain its trust in the world, but at least things will not be as bad as they are right now. Okay, and economically, if it's collapse right now, at least this collapse will be softened, so to speak, right? So the problem is, if a strong man replaces the new strong man replaces the old strong man, then in short term perspective, Russia as a state will change to the better. But in the long term, nothing will change. Things might even get worse in the course of 10 years, 15, perhaps 20 years. And if this good guy, the new czar, if by some magical reason he turns out to be the good czar, I mean, look at the history of the humanity. They were good czars, right? In the history of Russia, there were quite a few good czars. If he turns out to be a good czar, by all means, he's going to be followed by the bad czar, because that's how the czar system works, okay? It depends on personalities. And let's be honest, not the best people make it to the very top. So that's outcome number one. Outcome number two, this entire system of the czar is changed in Russia. This is a fundamental change for any country and for Russia. But in order for Russia to prosper, to in the future to be rebuilt and to rebuild itself, the system needs to be changed. For the first time in 500 years, Russia needs to stop allowing people to have absolute power who rule the country. Because this is a prerequisite for the renaissance, the revival of Russia, okay? I don't know how and if it happens and how it happens, but I am absolutely positive this is the only way that my country can prosper. Very simple things are needed. There's a system of checks and balances needs to be created, invented, copied perhaps, and installed in Russia, and it must work. A system of fair and honest courts, the judicial system, needs to be created, not like the one right now. Officials need to be elected. There will not be a place for one strong man with absolute power in his hands or her hands. There must be a system where lots of decisions are made locally. Right now, all decisions for Russia are made in Moscow, and Moscow is the capital. It's the imperial city. It's the seat of the strong man with absolute power in hand. You see, that's what Moscow de facto is right now. But it needs to seize its status. The Kremlin walls must be removed, deconstructed, destroyed, and the Kremlin must be visible from the Red Square and free to enter. It's got to be a museum, okay? And power needs to shift from the Kremlin down to the regions, okay? In the United States, you have states. In Russia, we have provinces. The people in provinces must decide their own fate, their own life. they must make decisions on how to make money and how to spend money. Okay, they must not give all the tax and revenue money to Moscow and then ask when Moscow gives them money. That's control. That's absolute power. Things gotta change. Okay, that's the only way. There are more things that need to be done for Russia to revive, to blossom, bloom. I just named you a few, but the very, very important ones. Okay. Officials must be elected, and there must be absolute short cap on how many terms every person can hold a seat. Just like they did in the Roman Republic. In modern countries, it's 2 terms. I like the Roman Republic. 1 year, 1 term in life. That's it. But anyway, these are just a few things. And I think that is the right outcome for Russia. Again, I don't know how to create, what to do so this outcome is achieved. I'm thinking about that. Day and night, I sit and think, and I don't have the answer. But I am absolutely sure that if Russia continues to live with the bad or a good czar, that this is the dead end. And look, this is 2022, and this is a long way, 500 years. This is where we come to, and we're standing. We are in a complete dead end right now. So things gotta change. I hope they change, and I hope that the bad czar and the good czar will be the thing of the past for Russia. This has been my message. Thank you so much for giving me a chance. Thanks for coming and watching and listening. I would like to turn on the comments, and please let me know what you think. Would love to hear your feedback. The chat's on. If you don't see the chat, please reload your page and it should appear. There it is. I basically would like to hear 2 answers. Did you find this information interesting and valuable today? And what do you think? Dirk, Kyle, Mommy, Lorna, Blackhead, Bob, Reeses, Deuce, Jesteri, Nicholas, Chirper, Ryan, Viking, T-Scooter, howdy, 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 my friends. The usual suspects are here. Thank you so much for coming back. Great to see you all. Thank you. So did you find it interesting? Did you find it valuable? Do you agree with me? Or you think this may be another way for Russia? It's Veterans Day. Also say hi to all. Pamela J. Veterans Day. November 11th, right? Sorry. My dear fellow Americans, happy Veterans Day. I kind of start forgetting this holidays because it's been a long time since I moved out of America, but have May. Isn't it in May? Last weekend, last Monday of... Oh, I forgot. I thought it was in May. Anyway. Bob S. Howdy. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Von Dalen. Daskin. My friends, if you want me to have a higher chances of seeing your question or comment, please put it in caps and put inside Russia after red sign, so it appears in a large orange box. I will be reading just that, because usually so many comments. Rhesus, I agree exactly with what you said. Thank you. Very, very, very good to hear that. Thank you. That's reinforcing. Dirk, the best czar was the German lady. The Catherine, a big question. I would argue with that. Good Nabend from Steve Taubert. Good evening. Theodore from Scotland. Ronnie. Carino. Ryan Williams, very interesting. Thanks for sharing. Thank you very much, Ryan. I appreciate it. Roy, hi from London. Very honest opinion. Respect. Greetings from Germany. Thank you, Dorian. Danke schön. Hi from Minnesota. Charlie B. Howdy, howdy from Pacific Beach, California. Hello, Charlie. Great to see you. We have Francisco from Chile. Wow, great to see you. That's far away. Option 2, the sooner the better. Elsha, thank you. There's a super chat from Magnus. Thank you so much. Great to see you. Love to you. Sam K, hello, glad you're well. Thank you so much, Sam. Martin, agreed. Thank you. Lionel Slade, howdy, howdy. Another book for me to read by Jules Verne. Interesting perspective as always. Another book for me to read by Jules Verne. Which one is that? I didn't get that. I'm sorry. Jules Verne still is one of my most favorite writers. I used to love to read his books. I think I read everything when I was a kid. So which one? Mikhail HG was positive. With that sort of talk, you should come to Finland to exile. Thank you. Thank you so much. From the outside, Robert Warwick. Lori, Czar, spelled Czar. Well, in Russia, sometimes they spell it Tzar. Sorry, you can be right. Czar. The idea is the same, Spelling might be wrong. Frank in Texas. I have a surprise for you, Frank. Not just you, but also for Mama Two Boys and Panda Chess. My dear friends, you had birthdays yesterday and day before yesterday. Happy belated happy birthday. I wish you many happy returns of the day, and I'd like to sing you a song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Frank, dear Panda, and dear Mama Two Boys. Happy birthday to you. Wish you many happy returns of the day. Thank you, Frank, for giving 5 sponsorships to 5 people. Thank you so much. Tomorrow is the private stream for sponsors and patrons, as my way of saying thank you so much for supporting. Deuce, I agree. He who shall not be named must go, but democracy must replace him. He will go sooner or later, and I think he understands that himself, and everyone understands. Okay, it's for a good reason. He never meets his nobles who round him face to face, always on a TV screen. He tries to stay for as long as possible. I understand that. But the bigger question is what's next? what's going to happen next? That's Brianna. Howdy, good to see you. Russia might turn to something out of a Gogol story. Always moving, but never knows where it's going. Thank you. A good observation. Yeah. Russia is a very unique place, Some say strange, I say unique. Kind of same idea. Just Terry missed most, but what heard is bang on. Thank you so much, Terry. CG in Texas. Oh, I can see you. Thank you so much for liking what I said. Twiggles. In Germany, we say once the cow is on the ice, which means that some things are very difficult to change once they have happened. Who sleeps in a democracy wakes up in a dictatorship. I think you meant who slips, not sleeps, but slips in democracy wakes up in a dictatorship. That is true. Dennis Hayes, thank you so much for support. Remembrance Day. Well, Damien and all Americans. Oh, in Canada, I'm sorry. Damien, happy Remembrance Day, dear Canadians, and happy Veterans Day, dear Americans. SF Joe, howdy. Have you considered an Amazon link with some of usual suspect wear? Great talk. Can't see Russian people without a power figure, but it would be nice. SF Joe, my friend, thank you so much for support. I have considered, actually have taken steps, not Amazon, but a different outlet here on YouTube. Hopefully coming soon. There are a few things more than usual suspects, but usual suspects is also that. Guy L, what the fudge? It's howdy time. Viking, Russia is going back to the Soviet Union. For now. Now it's going back. It has been going back for quite some time. But it's not necessarily that it will get back to the Soviet Union, because things might happen. And I'm hoping things will change very soon, okay? And it might not go back to the USSR. It might go back the other direction. We will see soon. Richard, very interesting analysis. Agree with your ideas and predictions. Thank you so much. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate it. Susan Angelo. To hear you saying new president in Russia, I was frantically hopeful for a moment. Well, I think you all understood right away where I was trying to get. New sponsor, Twiggles. Thank you. Welcome to Inside Russia. Dennis Hayes. Thank you so much. Thank you again. Bob S., thank you so much for the messages. David Sharp, Inside Russia, howdy from UK. Hope you're well. Interesting stream and anything learned is valuable. Thanks, Konstantin. David, thank you so much. Thanks for coming back and thanks for supporting. I'm a bit better today. My mom is with me. I would like to give you a personal update, but I think I'll do it tomorrow for sponsors and patrons, because this is not the topic of today's stream, but I'm feeling a bit better. In general, it's up and down, and I don't know when I'm going to be up or when I'm going to be down. Very strange. It's like going through a divorce, real bad one. I kind of had similar feelings a long time ago. That's what I go through now, up and down. Today is up, not bad. Something happens in Ukraine, something terrible. I don't know, something happens in Russia. I go down and the news brings me down and keeps me there. It's crazy. Black Cat, thank you so much. $3. Every single dollar counts these days. Thank you. Mr. K is a tease. Well, Susan, I gotta make it somewhat interesting for you, you know. Rennie Night card. That's funny. Karen Rock. Howdy, howdy. So happy your mom is visiting. You both need each other's comfort. I pray she convinces you to take at least Sunday off, if not the weekends, so that you can soothe your soul on a rest. Thank you, Karen. Very little chances of that happening. If the weather is good, I'm gonna take my mom on a day trip to the mountains nearby, the mountain resorts. Resort. So might be a good day tomorrow. Snapdragon, like your name, like the chip. It's holiday in most of the Entente powers for victory and peace after World War I. Today. Remembrance Day, right? Well, happy Peace Day. The Black Cat, the Encourager. I like that. Howdy, Amir. Ayla B, glad to hear you have family member with you. My mom, I'm gonna bring her over to the live stream tomorrow. You know, she's shy, she doesn't speak English, but she'll make an appearance. I'll see if I can make also bring my son and stepdaughter from the United States, from Maine. We'll see about that. Gold, Maple, love you, Constantine, but you need a strong leader in Russia. I agree with dictatorship, but you need to be a good dictator, not a bad dictator like Putin. Thank you. I respect all opinions. I really take all opinions. I think about them. They give me food for thought, and I really respect your opinion. Thank you so much. Does Nield, thank you very much for support. I appreciate it. Ryan Cameron from Newfoundland. Howdy, howdy. Brian Struvik, thank you so much. Thank you. A plus Russian. We should call Putin, well, the worst Tsar. I think there were Tsars much worse than him, you know. It rhymes, but also hopefully the last one ever. Do you mean the Tsar? Well, thank you, Oля. Thank you, CG in Texas. Since so much of Ukraine's electrical plants have been destroyed, will you consider going there to help them? I don't really need to go there to help them. I've been helping. I don't know, my company's been helping for quite some time. I will donate to you every day if you do this. You would be a hero. CG. I cannot go to Ukraine right now. Okay. In order to rebuild Ukraine's power infrastructure, I actually spoke to people who are doing that, because that's my field and I know quite a few people in Ukraine. They're saying that the critical issues have been repaired, but of course it takes time to bring back to 100%. As long as the Russians don't keep attacking, things will get back to normal soon. After this is over, I might be considered. I might get involved with the European companies that will be doing work in Ukraine. We'll see. But at this point, I have no plans on going there and be there on the land. Hugs to your mom and stepdaughters, as well as Natasha and Michael. Thank you so much. Thank you, Amir. Das Nield, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate no message, but this is a powerful message. And thank you, Black Cat, for another super chat, super sticker. Lori Lane, Peter Cappy, Koshkin Dom, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm not really sure what you meant by the Breakfast Club stream. Oh, I can stream, no problem. I can stream every day from there, okay? Usually a very famous Russian English-speaking blogger is there with me, Slava, Russian Plus. We would love stream together. The thing is, it's in the morning. It's 10:30 a.m. here, and it's like late night whenever you are in Europe, and it's early, very early morning. So what's the point of streaming? But I can do that. That's not a problem. I have to speak to all the members of the club, like people who show up. But I can do that easily because we have a separate chat, independent chat. The ones who do mind to be in the stream, they would probably leave. But there are some people that are actually open to the idea of going live and just be public, because I've spoken to quite a few of them about that. Constantine, does your mother drink tea too? Brian, she does. Not as much as I do, but she does. She loves this tea, by the way. Twinings. This is Darjeeling, something like Darjeeling finest tea. This is a little less potent than English breakfast, but still it's excellent. So she loves it. My dad loved tea as much as I did. He would have enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure he would. Could you just post a video of Breakfast Club? Good idea, Lori, instead of a stream. Yes, you know what? I think I can do that. I can do that easily. I can speak to the people. Actually, it's going to be a short, very short video, and then I can make it easily. Thank you, Jekyll. I appreciate the support. Thank you very much. And thank you, Damien. There's a question. Let's hope the coming change is fundamental and lasting. Perhaps time for a woman to lead Russia into the light. Just not that Channel 1. God bless, my friend. If things get changed, all those Channel 1 people will be purged. There's no question about that. They will be blamed because someone needs to be blamed. In Russia, there are two questions, as I told you before. Whose fault is that? And what to do next? Whose fault? Well, definitely the ones who made decisions, the wrong decisions. And second, it's the people who supported, who were spreading fakes, who were spreading. So all of them will be gone just like that, okay? And they will try to say, oh, we didn't know. Oh, but we were forced to. Oh, but that and this. But they'll be gone, I'm pretty sure. The thing is, if there is a strongman scenario, then to lead Russia, then there is not a strong man inside, okay? There's going to be a weak man controlled by different groups. That's a pretty bad scenario. And then there's no woman, like strong woman, to lead Russia like that. At least I don't know of any. Thank you so much for your support. And there's a gift of 5 sponsorships from Jonathan Frederick Stahl. Thank you so very much from me and from 5 people. Please, the new members, courtesy of Joan. Mr. Stahl, okay? Please come tomorrow and join the private stream for sponsors and patrons only. Teresa, howdy, and thank you. Welcome to Inside Russia. Thank you for joining the sponsorship. Lori, by all means, I will make a video and I will post. I will speak with Slava tomorrow. We will figure something out. I would stay up late for that stream, Konstantin, says David Sharp. David, thank you. Let me consider. Does Neil, another question. You are Slava Mods. I am from Manchester, UK. I speak 14 languages. I got Konstantin to try Twinings or Head Influence. God bless you. You are Slava Mods. Slava Mods. Now, I'm not a mod of anyone. I'm not a mod of Slava. Slava doesn't do live streams. He doesn't need, he doesn't have more mods. He's considering, though, to do the live streams. Well, it's great to see that, obviously, my friend, you're very intelligent. You speak 14 languages. You got me to try Twinings. I take it. I just don't remember, but, must have happened. Thank you for, steering me to the Twinings direction. Susan W., men are not better leaders than women. I never said that. I never said that men are better leaders. I think men or women are equal. I've seen good managers, men, good managers, women, and vice versa. So in Russia, there's not much of discrimination, gender discrimination. In the USSR was very little because men held positions, high positions as much and as often as women did. Toto Mobile, hello from France. You have a good spirit and hoping for your family to find a quiet place to live. How about south of France? Côte d'Azur. Do you have an update on when your daughter will be with you? Daughters will be with you. Carmen, I do not have the update yet. I'm working on it. That's all I gotta say. Thank you for remembering. That's very important for me to know that you remember and care. Denise, what do members of the Breakfast Club think about your YouTube channel? Do they support what you do? Do they agree with your perspective? How are you feeling today? Few questions. Some know that I run the channel, some don't. The ones who know, they're fascinated. They treat me some kind of like, wow, how many subscribers you have? Wow. And then I say, well, me, I'm just a small potato. Look at this guy. He's got like 3 times as many. And they're like, wow. Most people in the club, they have the same opinion as I do because we're like-minded people. So most support. I'm doing an interview with 3 people from the club on their way to Uzbekistan. I'm interviewing for the movie. I've done 1 interview already, and then I have 2 left, and then 2 outside of the club. And I'm feeling, better today. My mom is giving me boost, moral boost, mood boost. So feeling better, thank you. $10 from Czech Republic, from Agnes. Thank you so much. 100 Czech kronas. Konstantin, would you please tell people to look at Made with Bravery site? Everyone can buy some UA made stuff there, and a part of the price is going to be used for rebuilding the country. Of course I can. I've never seen this thing before, but let me write it down. Made with Bravery, right? Well, first of all, you already did the shutout here, because I've just spoken about that, and now let me see what else I can do. Oh, A+ Russian men held as many high positions as women did, spoken by a man who was never led by a woman in his lifetime politically. The leaders. Well, Valentina Matvienko is kind of leading us politically right now. She's let's say, number 3 person in Russia. There were a couple very important ladies, women, that are in the Russian Senate, Duma, that actually create laws that affect us. I have worked at the company that was led by a woman. So, Oля, I disagree. The president, yes, there hasn't been a woman president, and it's rare occurrence all over the world. But other than that, in the USSR, there were tons of women in high positions, CG in Texas, thank you for answering. I have watched you since before the war. Had trouble blindly trusting your sincerity since, but never gave up hope. Please speak freely now. What made you change your opinion? Because I haven't changed myself. I've been the same in the past 9 months, and before that, I haven't changed. My views haven't changed. Nothing's changed. What made you change your opinion about me? Please let me know, and I'll finish up the stream afterwards. Joy, welcome. Absolutely love the time with you all. Thank you so much. You are definitely the very usual suspect. The very dear usual suspect. Ferrari guy, it'd be absolutely great if Russia would have. I am hoping that Russia will have a man like that. I'm hoping for that. I'm praying for that. Blake Jewels, Karamurza is the best alternative. I don't think so. Karamurza is a great reporter, but he's not a politician. He's not the best. He's not a politician. He's not caught to lead the country. I mean, he certainly would hold a great position in the government for doing something, but not the president. The virtual Vietnamese cat. You sound tired. Take a break. Well, it's 1 a.m., 2 a.m. actually, and it's okay. I'll take some rest in the wooden Macintosh. Diana Smith, I really believe there is not a need to blame and purges. Well, it's too late for that. It's already a need for blame and purges. Have you considered the South African peace and reconciliation approach? Diana, I'm not that familiar with. If you're talking about apartheid and what happened after, not very familiar. I'm sorry. I'm ashamed to say that, but I'm not very familiar with that situation. Can it be applied to Russia? I don't know again. Let's wait and see. Thank you so much, my dear friend Yanis Travel. Thank you for your support. And my friends, it's time to finish the stream up for today. And go into the prayer. As usual, I am finishing my stream with prayer today. If you are religious, please join me. If you're not, please join me anyway, because if you have heart, then it's beating. And it's beating, it has love for someone or something in it. Therefore, the God is in there, because God is love. So please, join me in prayer. Let's do it. Dear God, thank you so much for giving us this day. Thank you so much for giving us this work week, and thank you for giving us this life in general. We are very grateful for that. Thank you. Please help our children, keep them safe and healthy, and give us wisdom to raise them the way that when they grow up, they will make this place a better world. They will never fight with each other. Thank you for surrounding us with people we love and people who love us. Please help stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. Reach out and touch people who need to be touched. Touch their hearts, touch their minds, touch their souls, eyes, so they feel and see the horror of what has been happening in Ukraine, and they will make the decision to stop the bloodshed. Please help every single Ukrainian. Give every single person who's been affected strength to get through. Give forgiveness. Give love. Give recovery. Please soothe their souls. Send everyone an angel, so the angels keep people out of harm's way. Please help my country, Russia. Send an army of strongest angels with sharpest swords, led by Saint Michael. Have them come and kick out the demons who have hijacked my country. Make the angels, led by Saint Michael, run it. Make it full of light again, so they make it righteous again, and they make it peaceful again. Please send them as soon as possible. Please give all our countries peace. Fill all our hearts with love, with mercy, with remorse. Please give us forgiveness, so we forgive people who have grudges against, and they forgive us. Please help people who are running and traveling just for whatever they need to be traveling for, and running for their lives, trying to save their lives and souls. Help them. Please send help their way. Please help the hungry. Give them bread, feed them. Please help people who are sick. Send recovery their way. Please help all the pregnant women who are making decision whether to keep the baby or not, their baby or not, their babies or not. Reach out and talk to them so they all make the right choice. Please help us all to overcome the chasm that has been growing between many of us for having different opinions, because we pay attention to the opinions that differ too much. Instead, we need to be paying attention to love to one another And when we are paying attention to that, there is no chasm between people. We have love and relationship with all of us. So please, turn our heads, turn our hearts, and turn our souls into the right direction. Thank you so much for bringing all of us here and allowing us to pray together. Please help everyone who is praying and who is watching us pray. Make everyone's wish come true, please. I have a list of people who ask me to ask for help. They need help. Please help them. They are Yelena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie, Galina, Buzz, Jean-Paul, Paula, Janine, Michael Milkevitz, Fiona, Stephen, Paul Binns, Preacher's father, Rudy Kaisley, Richard, Roberts Morgan's sister, Mallory M., Dirk Misler and his father, James Rhodes, Terry, Brittany S., Lars Henrik, Bridget Apley, Hannah and her children, May Scott Nesbitt, sister, rest in peace, Ian, Blackhead, Richard Burris, Ace, Angelic at Life, Ant UK, The Highway Man needs to regain his faith back, Vladimir Stomin, Scan's family grandson, Grace, Barb, Randolph, SC2216 and daughter Lori, Harry's family, China Bill, Brian McManus, Verlinda Allen Sneeze, Doug and Steve, Yuri from Ukraine, Nelly and Arkady, from Mykolaiv, Rafaela from, and daughter Anna, Priscilla, Michelin, King Nero, Gaby Hyman, Martin, Joanne, Donald, Allison Dave Moyers, Liz, Deborah, Isabel, Janice Burgess, Maureen M. and sister, Bruce, Terry Skog, Kayleen, Michael, Thomas, Tony, Jessica, Minutes to Midnight, Mama Two Boys, Mr. Hanson, Heidi Howitz, Golden Griffon, Terry Carter, and Carol Reed. I also would like to ask for 4 special children. They are Cadence, Maverick, Sebastian, and Coulter. Please help them. Help them to recover and help their families. They want their kids absolutely healthy. Send them home healthy, and so they have very long and healthy and happy lives with the loved ones. Thank you so much, our dear God, Jesus Christ. Amen. My friends, thank you for coming. Thank you for giving me a chance one more time. It's great to have you, such a fantastic community. You all are awesome, and you rock. And before I go, as usual, Carthago delenda est.